But
Okay, so after the 71 season, Kareem has another MVP caliber season in 72, but they do not make it to the finals in the playoffs that year. And then 73, there's no MVP and a really bad playoff season where they lose in the first round. And then we get to 74 and another MVP caliber season for Kareem, and they make it all the way to the finals to go against the Boston Celtics.
with the voting, wow, this is really close.
Yeah.
So you got 3 candidates. Kareem, obviously, 27, 14, 5 assists, steal and a half, and 3.5 blocks a game.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. People were just getting way more blocks than they do now. I feel like not as many people hit the 3-4 blocks per game category.
Yeah.
But
And
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think it was because of that. I think back then they didn't have the 3-second defensive violation at that, so I think they were in the paint more, especially guys like Kareem and Wilt. I was watching games and I saw that Wilt was just camping in the paint, waiting for anybody to go up. So I could see how they'd get more blocks at that point.
So what's the deal? When did that happen?
I think it was in, I want to say like early 2000s was when the rule
The
got
the defensive 3-second violation rule came out in 2001.
2001?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then we also don't know how many blocks people were getting in the 70s or earlier because they didn't start recording blocks or steals until 1974 this year. So this was the first year they started recording those.
So this is the first year that they recorded blocks?
Blocks, steals, and it was the first year they recorded the difference between offensive and defensive rebounds.
Oh.
I think it's interesting that he averaged a steal and a half. That's like guard numbers. Like, I feel like you usually see guards averaging almost 2 steals a game and stuff like that. So for him to be a center averaging it. But that MVP voting looks kind of shaky to me. I need to see records. So I see the win share difference, but I don't know what the records are.
So Bob McAdoo played for the now defunct Buffalo Braves and had 42. He was 42 and 40.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So they're about 500. And what's he, second?
Yep.
With 30 points, 15 rebounds. Right?
Yeah. So just statistically, he looks like he's doing much better than Kareem.
Also, he's somebody that I'm going to take. You know what? I'm going to take a moment to talk about Bob McAdoo because we might not get another opportunity to do that. Yeah. This guy is one of the most underrated players of all time. One of the original efficient shooters of size in the NBA. He was 6'9", center power forward, and consistently hitting about 50% from the field. And a lot of people who watched him play said he was the first real stretch big, like guy who was taking shots. I guess I saw Willis Reed taking shots from like what would be considered outside. But as you can see, Bob McAdoo took it to a completely different level. He's got an MVP somewhere in one of these years. It might even be this one, but yeah, it's somebody that nobody talks about. And then in the 80s, in the late 80s, he came up, or in the early 80s when Magic came to the Lakers and Kareem was playing with them, he was a critical part to their bench. And he got some championships out the back door.
Gotcha. So, I'm surprised he's not talked about more because he got the stats.
Yeah, I did. I had to do my own research on him, but I figured now would be a good time to talk about him. Yeah, one of the best players ever. But Braves, only 42 and 40. Then you got Bob Lanier, another center. All these guys, big men. This was just the era where guards didn't get any kind of credit.
Yeah,
it just didn't. Walt Frazier is
besides like Jerry West and stuff like that, but
Jerry West is the top 5 MVP voters right here, or the top 5 in MVP voting here, are all power forwards or centers.
Yeah.
All of them. So, and they're all double-double guys with points and rebounds.
Yeah.
But Kareem, I think the Bucks had the best record in the league. Yes, they did.
Yeah. That makes way more sense to me now.
And that's why he got the award. And it's Kareem. He's just doing it, you know.
And at this point, he's definitely the best player in the league. Like, I think after his second year, he's the best player in the league.
Yeah. The crazy thing is Dave Cowan's here with 19 and 15. And the second best record in the league sits at fourth. So people didn't really know what they were voting for back then between stats and good teams. Like, there's a lot of confusion about that. You can tell in the early voting because some of these seem very stats driven, and some of these seem very like, oh, you're the best, you had the most wins, and you were the best player on the best team.
Yeah,
so
but I think back then it was much more like all the way until I want to say some points in the 80s where I think it was more so who was the best player in the league at that point. I think they took that to like a higher standard. Like, because if you think about like until the middle of the 80s, I feel like Magic starts getting screwed for some of the MVPs because he's just been dominating for so long. They were like,
we got to give him something enough in the back end.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. In the legacy breakdown available in our archives, we talked about a lot of that. And I feel like he was screwed more for finals MVPs than regular MVPs. I felt like the ones for the regular season were okay. But in this season, Kareem and the Bucks face the Boston Celtics, the other best team in the league. It's the one seed versus one seed. God, it took me 10 seconds to come up with that. All right. One seed versus one seed. It goes 7 games. Lots of overtime. I'm going to show some of the footage from this first. But closely contested series. And this particular game, this is game 6. This game goes to overtime. Look at Oscar posting up from where around the 3-point line would be. But that's what his thing was in the half court. He started doing that as a guard. He was one of the few guards to play like that. Hold on, I want to see.
Do you think that's where like Magic got it from?
I would say Oscar Robertson had to give Magic some sort of a blueprint for just being a big fucking guard, just a giant.
Because I feel like they played kind of similar to a certain extent.
Yeah, well, Oscar is definitely the tallest, one of the tallest, if not the tallest point guard in the league at this point. And he uses
6'8", right?
He's 6'5". Are
you sure?
Yep, positive. Now, you wouldn't be the tallest shooting guard, but he definitely might be the tallest point guard at this point. But look, as soon as he gets to half court, he's back and he's posting up. And now we got Kareem. Oh, you saw he was loading up the hook, getting ready. But a lot of these games would go to overtime. And
you're right. Sorry, I just always think I'm like, oh, I thought he was 6'8" for some reason.
You're gonna see insane minutes played numbers. 47 minutes a game from John Havlicek, 26-7 and 5, or 26-8 and 5 really, with 2 steals.
Yeah.
And Cowan's 22 and basically 10. So he stepped his play up from the regular season.
Yeah.
43 minutes a game. And JoJo White, this is their big 3. 16, 7 assists. You got Kareem down here absolutely annihilating. Mind-blowing numbers. 32 and 12 with 5 assists and 2 blocks every game. Playing 49 out of a possible 48 minutes every
He doesn't have much with him right now. Like when
35-year-old Oscar Robertson playing over 48 minutes average a game.
Yeah.
What a series. If this series happened now, all they would be talking about is how many minutes 35-year-old Oscar is playing.
Yeah, for sure.
And this is 35 years old back in the early 70s, not 35 years old in 2020 where LeBron gets the best player in the world. 35, you might as well be fucking 50 out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, where all the freaking games played and minutes played, they were averaging like, I think it was like over 43 minutes a game or something.
For his career, he's got something like that.
You could go a little
bit.
Yeah. 42 minutes a game.
Ridiculous.
And
pretty much played over 40 minutes a game every single season up until age 32.
In 74, at 35, he's playing 35 minutes a game. And
in the regular season, and then
in the regular season,
in the fucking finals.
And like, to put that in perspective, Giannis Antetokounmpo in 2020 is averaging like 35 minutes a game now. So like that's, and Giannis is what, like 10 years younger than him?
Let's see, because now you got me thinking about it. Yeah, 2020. Where's my minutes? Oh, of course, sucking my balls.
Yeah, I don't care about that,
30 minutes.
Less. My bad.
30 minutes a game.
Giannis has not averaged more than 37 minutes a game in his career.
Let's go to playoffs.
No, in the playoffs, I know there was one year he played the entire games.
I know, but I want to know. Because we're looking at playoff numbers too. Playoffs per game, 2018-19. 34, 40 minutes. Wow. Still.
I was going to say 40 minutes. That seems weird to me. I remember there was a game, there was at least one game the Bucks had with Jason Kidd as the coach, and Giannis literally didn't like leave the court like the whole game.
Yeah, and then you got Oscar in the regular season, casually 45 minutes a game, 46, and not leading the league, except for 1 year in minutes.
So this is where I start looking at stuff a little differently, because a lot of people like to talk about the technology and stuff, but like, I don't know how much technology like you need to think, well, if you had Oscar playing 35 minutes a game throughout his career and maybe taking a few games off, do you think he would have averaged, do you think he would have had 20 years, pretty good years? Like,
probably. But look at, the best case example of that, I've definitely brought this up before, is John Stockton. John Stockton, Jerry Sloan, when he was coaching John Stockton, held him to a pretty strict 32 to 35 minutes a game for his entire career, and he played 21 seasons.
Yeah.
When Jordan was only playing 13.
Yeah.
The same period of time. So I definitely agree with that sentiment. Like, there's something to playing less minutes, but there's also something to playing, like, do I think Allen Iverson should have played less minutes in 2001? No, because they probably would have fucking lost.
Yeah.
Like, so there's also that you got to put into perspective. So, this footage is.
But I mean, so, I mean, it's not. I just don't know. I think you can. Like Greg, if you're a good coach, you can do that. I feel like Greg Popovich did that a lot of his career.
Yeah.
Where he kind of divided things up for players, and I mean, it worked out really well for him. I don't know. You definitely need better coaching, I guess, when you think about that. But I don't know. But now that I don't know, it's just weird to think, because I would look at these numbers in the past and didn't think they were that crazy, and I never noticed the minutes per game, I guess, and I never thought about it, because you're not looking that in depth. You're just looking at points per game, rebounds again, the normal shit.
Yeah.
But when you look at it from, like, some of these players could have been even greater, like, easily. Like, if Jordan would have been put on a leash pretty much instead of averaging his 42 minutes a game, whatever the hell, giving him, let's say 35, 37 minutes a game. Yeah. Like, because Kobe was pretty much at like 37. Like, would he have been even great. Like, sure, maybe some of his stats go down a little bit, but he could, like, there's no way Jordan couldn't have done 35, 37 minutes a game and still won the same amount because he had a great team around him. It's not like I don't know, it's just stupid. Like to think how dumb like coaches were back. Like, it took them. I don't know what caused coaches to change their mind and develop differently.
Injuries and intensity of the game. Like, because that's
the injuries have been a part of the game for years.
Yeah, but across all sports, the sports has become infinitely more physical. Like, even though they're not talking about punching and like the fouls are a little bit lighter.
Yeah.
The bodies and the human beings are pushing their bodies to capacity. Like, not
so
the way they were back then.
Yeah, like this is not that fast. Like,
in comparison.
Yeah, because like this, like if it was in 2020, he would have been coming down the court full steam ahead.
Yeah,
and it wouldn't. Yeah, I know what you mean.
That's what I mean. The difference. Yeah. That's where the difference is in terms of physicality, because things that were casual in this period of time are totally different now in terms of contact. Like, guys wear mouth guards in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like they're going to a fucking UFC fight.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a non-contact sport. You're wearing a mouth guard.
Yeah. That is true. Well, LeBron, I know LeBron and Steph wear mouth guards still.
They all do.
Yeah.
And rightfully so, because when you get in that paint, you're going to fucking need them.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, if you get because people look at it and they're like, oh, you just got an elbow to the face or whatever. And yeah, that hurts normally. But like when the guy's like 6'9", 300 pounds or some shit hitting you.
You're Allen Iverson and you're bumping into Shaq in the lane.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like a fucking pinball. Fucking terrible. But, oh shit. But I think Kareem definitely deserved the MVP this year.
Yeah,
and I'm surprised. I'm kind of surprised they didn't come away with the championship here, considering his numbers and the fact that in Game 7,
I think he didn't have much of a team with him.
They really got smoked in Game 7.
Yeah. And how'd he do in Game 7? 26-13.
26 points on 21 shots.
Oh my, yeah.
He was exhausted.
Yeah.
Oscar, 6 points, 13 shots, 2 for 13. Yeah. They were just gassed. And this was
Oscar. That was the last game. I was going to say.
The last game he played, according to his fucking Basketball Reference. Shout out to Basketball Reference, the greatest basketball website for stats of all time. But 13 rebounds, 4 assists, no steals, no blocks. For a guy who was averaging 3.5 in the regular season and 2 in this series, got 0 in Game 7. So really they're just fucking dead. And then Callan stepped up big time, 28-14. He still scored 28 points on 25 shots. This is you know what this is, Dario? This is a classic Game 7.
Yeah. Oh, Game 7s are historically inefficient.
Shooting like garbage.
Yeah.
And it just came down to
a lot of players usually don't live up to them.
Yeah.
Because there's so much pressure on them.
Crazy.
Yeah.